Hello, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me because I'm using a microphone. It's my first time. I think I'm on time for the first time. Just want to make sure y'all can hear me. If y'all can't, then I'm going to unplug all kinds of stuff. All right. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Tina Reddington, Jen Tat, Jennifer Diane, Marilyn Pastor, Gloria Fritz, Katie H. It's just Robbie. Linda. Oh, I don't know how to say your last name. Linda K. Teresa Binge. Jennifer Diane, of course. Jenny Anderson. The Value of Nutrition. Donna Donald. Zero. Tracy Schuler. Deblina. Christina Saab. I don't know. Good. I'm glad y'all can hear me. Jen's going to join us. She's said she would be a little late. And Eric said he might, but he said this might be the last time in his life that he'll get to watch an Ohio team play in the Super Bowl. It's okay, cunning linguist. You can be drunk and be here. You're in good company. Hey, Carrie Ann, Rotary Dial, Kathy, Moonlight View. God, y'all are fast. Spread Love Not Hate, Miss Milky the Clown 1, Sherry Presson, Kristen and Co. Bo Peep. I am okay. I'm okay. Been busy. Laura Nelson. I don't recall. Y'all have the funniest names. So yeah, they might be. Elmom's gonna be joining us, but Eric said he might. So what do you guys think about Lori? Do y'all think she's competent? I think so. I feel like she is. Hey, April, Passy. You made the most beautiful hankies. And we finally got them. Like, it's a long story, but they were kind of mailed to Mom and Larry's their old home address. And we just got them. So I just got them, and they're so beautiful. And I have them by the door. They're by the front door. Oh my God, they're beautiful. It just is so nice. And it means so much to see love always wins, to see that message go other places outside of this. I love it. And that's where the memory and the spirits of the victims live on, in my opinion. That's how I feel. Carrie, I have no idea when we'll get wind. Hopefully soon. Sooner than later, I hope. Okay. Nettie says she thinks that she's competent. Jenny says, do I think she's competent? Yes. Will the courts agree with me? I don't know what they're up to in Idaho. I feel the same way. I just feel that the way that they went about it, like the prosecutors, I think, ordering that, whatever you call it, the thing that me and Eric kind of went over, a competency from a forensic psychologist, or is it a forensic psychiatrist? I don't ever know the difference. I never get them right. But I just think that I think I don't know. It just reeks. She's competent. That's my gut feeling. Um, KDH, I would imagine when Lori is sent back to jail, she'll show up on the jail roster. And I agree. And, like when I got the Vine notification, I was like, okay, but I don't know what that means. So, VL Mom will be joining us soon as she gives me thumbs up. Love always wins. Exactly, April. It was so awesome to see those and for you to make them for us. That was so sweet. So very sweet of you. We thank you. I agree, Tina Reddington. She always has been. You ready? Oh, you're in. You're in.
I am.
You're here.
Like, kind of.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going. It's going. I'm trying to I hate how I always do this.
It always just goes. Huh. With or without us.
Oh, hey everyone.
Yeah. I was on time.
Where are you?
Everybody just fall dead.
I
After the stream. I'm joking.
Is that Super Bowl over? Like
that Super Bowl thingy where they play foosball?
I know.
No, it's not. So thank you, everyone.
When did it start?
I don't know. I think it started. I don't know. Somewhere in here.
Oh, before I got you a present.
No.
Okay, you did the.
Scared. Ew, some visions of glory. Let me.
Yeah, you did that video like a year ago. Do you?
Yeah.
You did the video, right? Like where he's giving a talk.
Yeah, I released the Visions of Glory interview. Yeah, of John, not John.
Yeah.
Pontius.
Who supposedly. Well,
why would you? What's up with these people like trying to tell about other people's dreams?
Well, so in the book when it starts, because remember we were gonna do like that, like I don't know, we were talking about it in like December, like because you had posted that one, and I was like, oh, I remember reading that like when I was a kid, because my mom had it, or like not even a kid. Wasn't even a kid. I think but like
still a kid.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Unless it was another weird. She would buy like the near-death experience.
Might have been your mom's dream that she shared with you, and then you're telling about. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. So anyway, like John Pontius isn't the first, he won't be the last. But
nope, he's dead.
Yeah.
So he'll be the last to tell from his point of view.
Yeah. Well, he's dead, right?
Yes. Allegedly.
Rest his soul. So remember we were talking, like it was clear back in December. I don't even think you remember, but you were talking about this Spencer guy, and then you had the audio, and I was like, oh, I should read that again. And then I did, and then
you started school.
I started school.
We've slept since then.
And we were like, oh, how are we gonna do it? Like, remember, like you were gonna do one part, and then I was gonna do, or we were gonna like switch. But so
our intentions were good.
Yeah, so I got an extra copy. Like, okay, I feel bad. I'm probably gonna send it back because they sent me one, and then they delivered it to my neighbors accidentally, which is weird because I get Amazon like every day, which I know is horrible. I know it's bad.
It's with the times. It comes with the times.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm a shut-in, so.
Me too. Me too, and I'm proud. I am proud.
Yeah.
That I am. I mean, especially right now with the corona. I mean, it was like, okay, well, it makes sense for me to. Now I have an excuse.
Right. Now I don't have to look at the UPS driver in shame and be like,
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, I didn't end up finishing it like a month ago, and I was gonna make this one that I am almost done with. I know I've been saying that forever, you guys.
This video, I've been waiting. I've been like, come
I
on,
know.
sister.
Well,
I'm
like
ready to see.
yeah, like here's the thing. Like, do you remember all those Draw My Life videos? They got real popular a few years ago.
What is it?
Draw My Life,
Draw My
where
Life.
like a YouTube creator would basically use a
Oh,
whiteboard and they draw out like stick figures and stuff. It was like really funny. And I was like, oh, I want to do that with the plan of salvation. And
maybe we'd
it takes a
understand.
long time because you basically screen record while you draw. And I don't have a stylus, I just have a mouse. So you're just like, and then you try and speed it up. And then Premiere Pro is like, yeah, this is too much for me. Clunk.
At
And
the
so,
time.
yeah, so I've had to break it into parts and then,
Mhm.
right, I'm trying to like catch up.
Well, you're very thorough too, and that's what I appreciate about your work is that you're
Yeah.
very thorough. You cover all your bases, and that way there's no you're just very sure of your
Yeah,
of your
well,
work to the best of your knowledge
I
because you're
try.
very equal. You're very equal, like I am too. I mean, I like to give the benefit of the doubt. You know,
Yeah.
it
Well, and it's
means the world.
like I actually took some parts out and like that kills me. Like the thing is I hate not explaining something completely. But and Jenny's here. Hi, Jenny.
I see, Jenny.
And I know I saw Robbie here. I see a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of you, so but hi everybody. This is what happens when I drive 80 on the freeway for like an
I
hour.
don't do 80. Do 79.
That's normal for here. But anyway, so I had to cut some of it out because I'm like, this is way too much for someone to, and Jenny will be able to say this, like when you go into the plan of salvation and all the kingdoms and stuff like that, like, and the fact that it has changed over time a little, it's a lot to remember. Like I'm thinking back going, okay, like when
Like
was the
for
battle?
the layman or whatever to absorb, right?
Yeah, so I cut it down a little, but then I was like, oh, but I think I always feel like someone's going to get in the comments and be like, that's not how it is. You don't know what you're talking about because
There's
I don't know
always
why I
going to be
care.
that person.
I mean, I don't know why I care. What I like is when people comment and they're like, hey, that's, I was actually raised differently because it's so cultural, right?
Good.
Like I was raised with teachings that were probably different than someone in Arizona or Idaho.
Right.
Maybe not there, maybe not in the Mormon, but like let's say
Mormon.
Texas.
I love the Mormon.
So
because it's not the Bible Belt, it's the Mormon.
it is the Mormon. I think it was
Thanks,
the cute couple that we talk about.
Yeah.
McKay.
Oh my God.
Jordan
Yes.
and McKay.
Jordan and McKay.
Yes. They
really brought things to light. Let me try not to get too close to this microphone. I don't want to be blowing y'all's eardrums out. Sorry.
Oh, and that's the thing about this video is the sound is going to totally suck during the voiceover. So I'll probably end up having to re-upload it anyway.
Wow.
I know. No, I'll post it, but then if it's really bad, I might just re-upload.
Kathy says breathe.
I know. I'm like all hyped.
Breathe. We get a little excited though. I mean, to know that you poured your time and just covering it and just trying to bring it to light. That means a lot to people. I know, especially when it's your own research, you tend to be like, that's my research. I mean, and because it's something you worked hard for. You work hard for.
I feel like it's very like when you do research, it's very rewarding to yeah, and it's rewarding to be able to share it and have people like actually listen or read it. It's nice. Yeah, and like you too, like, because
It
we
means a
found,
lot to to my family that was murdered. It just it just puts another link in the chain. You know, it's just like, okay, you connect the dots. It helps you to kind of put yourself inside of these murderers, alleged murderers' minds. Like what what were they thinking? What were they doing? And you immerse yourself in that. I do, and a lot of us do. That's why we watch all these things. And
yeah,
thank you so much, Fish
yeah,
Face 123 is on. Thank you so much.
and
Appreciate
thank
it.
you, Nettie. That was very nice of you. You guys are so nice.
They
Um,
are.
I hate it when I don't get to your comments. Usually I actually read them and I'm trying to like signal to you that I read them. I'm like, yeah, I got that. And I'm like, well, they don't know.
Mhm. Everybody
Thank you.
appreciates what you do, myself
Yeah.
included. You
I
know,
try to,
you try to do these guys justice back here.
yeah, I mean, we can't
Right.
explain. We'll never be able to explain like what broke
Mhm.
or and what was always broken, but went unnoticed.
Right.
Um,
We won't be able to nail that one thing down.
right.
It's multiple things, like everything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. But at least like when you hear like in that audio where she's like, we need to bring it up to a terrestrial vibration.
And then
At least
terrestrial was
we'll
mentioned
know.
in the text messages in the FOIA document dump, the
I need
1108
to,
one. I
yeah,
call
I
it the
need to go through
1108
those.
report. No,
There
you
was a lot in
don't.
there.
Save yourself.
Yeah.
Because you do. You read these text messages and you're just like, what the F? Big F, capital F. Were they thinking? What? Who is this? You
And
know?
why is it that sorry, I can't multitask. I can't block people and
I
talk at the
did.
same.
Like me and Eric do. We kind of do it at the same time.
I know. Like it's so much
Okay, I
better.
think.
And then I'm always like, oh duh, Kathy's here.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah. I
forget.
know. And
Kathy's here to save the day.
thank you, Kathy. We don't thank you enough. I don't thank you enough.
I know.
Your absence is definitely noticed. Just
I do need to call um and chat. But uh yeah, like but yeah, the terrestrial vibration thing. Like that's in this video. So you'll know what it means. It's not what you might think it means. Um
yeah.
so hopefully I'll get that out.
Thank you, Lynette.
I don't I,
Because
I
you're
always
both
think
so
it's
groovy and not in the earthquake making way. Right?
that's awesome.
Thank you. That was fun. Thank
Yeah.
God. I
Yeah.
have
My
all
chair
kinds
is
of
all
comments that
squeaky.
come to mind. Oh, I used to have one of those squeak. Mine's doing the turny thing. I'm like, whatever. So I'm kind of braced right now. Hi, Sister Donka. How's your hoe family doing? I know.
How's Jason doing?
Inappropriate. He is fine. He really is. He's a lot better since he went to the ER, and yeah, he's doing good. We've
Good.
been helping Mom and Larry move stuff from their house that got damaged in Hurricane Laura. We've been helping them move stuff out of there and into uh, they call it I call it a sea can or whatever, but it's those Connex containers. Anyways, to storage on property. So Mom's been going through a lot of things, and uh, like I found Uncle Charles's Letterman's jackets uh, from Barb High School and one from when he went to McNeese State University, and I had it on, and I was like, oh, I mean, it's a couple decades old. And she said, I wonder why Cole and Zach didn't get that. And I'm like, well, I don't know, but they need to get it from me now. No, it's still with her. I'm just sentimental like that. I know. It's weird. So I'm like, at least let me take pictures of it. So I can just kind of, I don't know. That's just who I am. I was like that before this. So, oh, well, hold on. Nettie has one too. Hold on, Nettie. Hold on, Nettie. Stephen Dove, any significance to the trip to Independence, Missouri by Lori, Mel, and others?
Oh, yeah. I've done a video on that.
I've looked that girl up, too.
Yeah. If you don't know, Independence is where
I never can say it. Autumn on
Christ is supposed to show up. And there is some, like, there's an order of events that will occur. But basically, it's where the saints shall gather. So it's where the 144, led by dipshit Dorcas and the Funky Bunch, like, it's where they would eventually go. But it's not as simple as like oh, right, he's coming, let's just travel there. There's like tribulations and there's a lot of kind of stuff. And but basically that is a very significant place. It's a very special place to Mormons. The belief right now is that the last temple, not the last temple, because there will be temples built during the millennium, but there's a temple, the church has a plot, and it's like right across from like a break-off church's plot. Like, I think it's the one that Joseph Smith's wife started. But anyway, they have like this big plot that is supposed to be used to build a temple on. And it is said that when that temple is finished, that's when horns and like from the east and bright lights. And but he's going to show up a couple times before then too. Adam on the, yeah, Jenny,
Thank you.
Never pronounce that in my life. I can never say that word.
Oh my God. Thank you, Jenny. Thanks, Jenny.
Jenny.
Just to make it even more corny.
Adam on demand. Adam on demand.
Adam on demand. Adam on demand. I say it like 5 times, and it's more likely to stick.
And the interesting thing about all of that is that when the saints went to Salt Lake, right? When they came to Utah. So when people were being converted overseas, like England, where my family was converted, Germany, they were told that Salt Lake was going to be Zion. I always believed that. I was like, oh yeah, Missouri was great and it was super special. But then they found out like it would be like Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was researching, I was like, Salt Lake's not even in there.
Right.
Like, oh, that was a sales pitch.
It's like they talk about I've read and learned about the foundation of it and everything, like how they've reinforced the church and all kinds of things, maybe it was, and then it moved on to greener pastures.
Yeah. I think there's supposed to be certain.
I'm sorry.
What?
Oh gosh. I want to get back to Nettie's comment, but oh brother, cue the music. When the saints go marching in. Right on. But back to Nettie. And I've been reading about Enoch. Independence, Missouri is where the Order of Enoch also said Zion would be built.
And that that's the thing now, is like that's where it's supposed to be. But when I was growing up Mormon, I was always told it was going to be in Salt Lake. And I wasn't told about like this pilgrimage that's supposed to happen. I know it's used to be that all of the saints, as in all of the Mormons, would gather at Independence. And then they were like, well, we're getting way too many of you guys, so just some of you.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I already forgot. Go ahead. I already forgot. Just like that. Oh, I don't remember. It cometh and goeth. Just like that. So it's not so much like April Passy says, Church of the Firstborn is also there in that area. And so is it the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or is it the Church of the Firstborn?
Well, the
What
Church
is
of the
it?
Firstborn is figurative.
Right. That's what I've come to learn, that it's
Yeah.
not an actual church. It's just like Zion. It's, I don't know.
It's the top level of the celestial kingdom.
There you go. That's
Not a
what,
Chad thing, Keith. Not a Chad thing. But
that's
like
crazy.
there was a break off early 1800s. It's actually in this video too.
This
It's
alleged,
I'm
it's alleged
in a
video.
portal. Remember, I posted that picture. I'm like, oh look, I'm in a portal. But there is a break off that occurred in the 1800s. Yeah, and that they named the Church of the Firstborn. And then there are a lot of not necessarily even LDS breakoffs that are also named Church of the Firstborn. LeBaron's was Church of the Firstborn, and the Lamb and the Suki coffee, whatever.
Right. Insert.
Yeah.
Insert whatever you want here. Right. And I watched a thing on Vice, and I've seen it before, but it's always interesting when I watch these things again. It's like taking this context and knowing what I know now versus then when I watched it previously. And it's like when I watch it now, I'm just like, oh, okay, it makes more sense. It makes more sense. And I watched a video on Vice on YouTube, and it was about basically the Mormons in Chihuahua and the other town down there that I can't remember right now. It's like I'm on the spot, so it's like I'm shutting down. But that happens a lot. But basically, they showed Brent, I think his name is Brent LeBaron, and how they're basically fighting the cartel down there, and so it is very interesting, to say the least. But it's just, they're just a different kind of Mormon down there,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to educate myself more on the Romney family that's down there also, because it's like real dumpy and horrible, hard knocks, and then you go to where the temple is, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's all pretty
Yeah.
and grass, and not just desert and desolate.
Yeah. So
So
I have a
it's
question
crazy.
for
Go ahead.
April Passy. So my question is, do you believe that becoming gods was in the doctrine and still is in the doctrine? The actual doctrine. Like, I'm
It's
just
still
curious
there,
as to I think you're
like her opinion,
yeah,
about it.
because it's I guess
My light just went out.
a disagreement.
My
It's
light just went out.
yeah.
Okay. And then it came back on, and now it's really harsh.
And then
Sorry.
and then
What'd
somebody
you talk about? Because it just made my damn light go out. That's scary. That's creepy.
yeah. So
Anyway,
the reason why I asked, because if you go on the website and you go into FAQs, it says no, that we were never taught that.
and
That
I've
Mormons
seen
were never
videos.
taught that.
I never really paid attention to it, but I have seen that in passing, just where they talk about becoming your own God and having your own planet. And then I guess more when people made a big thing about it disappearing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it's a big deal.
that's how I became aware of it.
I mean, it's
Which I mean, it doesn't matter.
77, 88, 76, 93. Just a few places to mention.
It doesn't. It's like it doesn't. I don't. I mean, I care, but I don't. I don't know how to say that. I don't ever want to sound insincere or, accusatory or whatever. It's just like that's the only way I can understand is just by, well, I thought da 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 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's always just me trying to get a better understanding. It's never me just being a jerk. I really do want to know. My uncle did convert to this religion. And so, I mean, he's also in there. Thank you, KDH, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Man, there's so many good questions, but
Tracy,
my
you don't
God, my
have
light
to.
went out again.
You don't have to worry about that because on your planet world, it's referred to mostly as worlds. It's planet it's referred to more like in the Pearl of Great Price, but mostly worlds. On your world, you'll have your eternal companion, whether you were sealed to that companion in your earth life, in after your earth life, spirit worldish, for Judgment Day. Some people will be assigned them before Judgment Day. But anyway, you'll have your eternal companion, or because believe me, that's part of the up there, like 4 different types. And then if you're a woman, you will birth spirit children, and it's called eternal increase. So you won't be lonely because you'll be creating your own thing. And to me, I always thought that was cool. And it always, like, I didn't realize that a lot of people think that's blasphemous. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's just normal. It's just normal, right?
Yeah.
From your perspective, right?
I think it's kind of a beautiful idea.
Right.
It's.
But outside of Mormonism.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know.
This whole other world existed. Or,
Yeah.
Other world of other beliefs and so forth, right?
Well, it didn't. This world of other religions didn't exist to me growing up.
Right.
I didn't know a Catholic. I didn't know anyone of a different religion. There was one girl on my street that was not Mormon, or I don't think she was any religion. It wasn't until I was in high school I knew people that weren't Mormon. And when I met my best friend, she was the first Catholic I had ever met. And I was like, what? How come it's so quiet in your church? Because the church is like.
I remember you talking about that. Babies and just kids and, just like everybody's talking. I remember you saying that. And how, there's a cry room or whatever in the Catholic, in the churches I've been to. I was raised Catholic, but I never really felt a strong belonging to a church.
Right.
Like I never just really felt like I had to be there in order to feel it. Now, you go there to be surrounded in that, per se, but I always just kind of carried God with me. That's just how I always was.
Like Pop's
With a honey badger.
Honey badger don't give a shit.
He's beginning to think his eternal partner will be the honey badger. Wait, that's my spirit animal. Laugh out loud.
Anthony, I know I missed some because you guys have like brought up some really good things.
They are. There's this one from Christy. I mean, from Sister Donka. I don't know why I said Christy.
Yeah, like a lot of this is very like productive, but I have not seen the musical. I've heard really good things. I heard it was really well researched.
I didn't know.
I did see the South Park episode, and I was like, "Damn, they got a lot right." I mean, they did do that. I've heard that like even practicing Mormons like it, but I don't know.
Now, one of I want to say that somebody that was friends with Eric I want to say I've seen him on, I want to say Book of Mormon book reviews. I think that's the name of the channel. I don't know. Y'all don't take me verbatim ever. There's so much speculation in this brain. It's unreal. So much information too. Always have to tuck it in. But I remember seeing where he had done a movie about it. About what do you call it? Of how it went down and who killed Joseph Smith, basically. Blah, blah, blah.
Angry people.
I don't know what
There
to
is
call
like
it.
this rumor that Brigham Young is responsible for his death. Like there was this whole like
There
plan.
is. Like I still think that's still here. Like
Yeah,
it's in the
yeah,
present.
no, because I have I didn't even know about it till I started reading this stuff that like these people were putting out. And like on those Facebook boards that like True Doctrines of Christ. Like
Okay. Justin Griffin. That's who it is. Justin Griffin. My bad.
yeah, where they talk and they'll it's really interesting.
It
A lot
is.
of it's about plural marriage, and that could be a different because I had like 3 or 4 groups that I would follow, like just kind of for research.
Just to see who's who in the zoo, per
Yeah,
se.
because you would mention names, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then like I
And
found Phil Davis's group, and I was like, I'm gonna sit and just kind of see what these guys chat about.
right, what y'all doing in here?
And then I haven't been on there forever because I've been doing school stuff. But yeah, I thought it was really funny. And if anybody like well, Jenny's here and Robbie's here, April's here, DJ Norman. If any of you heard that, let me know because I really didn't know that there was this whole like conspiracy theory. I'm going to
Yeah,
call it a theory
I
because we
knew
know.
that. I just we've
Uh,
got a lot to talk about.
yeah, and then there's someone brought. Oh,
There's this question too. So the LDS and other Mormon churches lean much more on Smith's writing than what the Bible says.
yeah. So
That's where I was also
I was
confused in the
always
beginning of this.
the Book of Mormon was always stressed over the Bible, but the Bible is still very much a Mormon scripture too, like the King James version. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of people think that Mormons only believe in the Book of Mormon, but they believe in the Bible
It's
too.
like a supplement.
Right. Um, and actually there's a lot of similarities. I found a scripture in the Bible the other day that I was like, hey, that's in the Book of Mormon. Nope. Oh, okay. So there are some definite similarities. I would say that more emphasis was always placed on the Book of Mormon, except for my junior year in seminary. Then we learned a lot about the Bible, like it was all Bible themed.
Mhm.
But in general, like that's your core document. Now, the church website has worded things a little differently as of late, and
So
they
they've changed.
they tend to stress the Bible more. Like they're talking more about the
Okay.
Bible than the Book of Mormon, and a lot of their scriptures will reference now the Bible, like when they talk about like what the teachings are, and I'm like, well, that's in the
That's
Book of
kind of
Mormon. Why aren't you doing that?
confusing. I mean, it's kind of, I think that would be misleading or confusing. Like, well, what, who, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, here's so I was always told that it was the King James version, and then there is the
Oh,
a
I'm way
like
behind.
Mormon Bible, like an actual like Mormon interpretation of the Bible, and then there is the interpretation or Book of Mormon, and then there is the Rod Meldrum.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's
He's been a person of interest.
written that like
And who is Rod Meldrum? He's over here he's the founder, I think, of the Firm Foundation. The Firm Foundation, y'all, these people, the Firm Foundation had an expo in Rexburg. They were in Rexburg in 2019, the weekend that JJ was murdered. I mean, it's like I'm putting all this together in the time. It's like I'm able to do that now. And I'm just like, that's kind of funny, huh? You know, it's just kind of interesting to me. But nobody knows nothing.
No.
No, nobody has said a word about these people or from these people. These nothing has come from these people except for like I remember and I have it somewhere. Nancy James saying that they have nothing to do with Chad and Lori, yet they were in their podcast and they were filming it. They filmed Sean Little Bear and Janelle Little Bear. Sean, his name is Terry Scabby or Scabs or something like that.
I can see why you went the second.
Right. Little Bear.
Yeah.
Anyways, KJ, silence speaks volumes. That's just it. It's like, who's quiet? That's where I have just been like, phew, I hone in on that because that is a pattern that I have found very disturbing. And
Yeah.
it's very enabling to me, in my opinion. It enables this to continue. It enables them to get away with these things that they've done, allegedly, these things that are alleged to be done. And so, where is this going to create the product of the next Chad and Lori? Where it's going to feed into it. They're feeding this big, huge monster. And if we don't stop it, it's going to continue. What you allow is what will continue. I'm a big believer in that. And I find that disturbing. I don't want there to be another horrific, event where everybody's like, well, we should have, should have, would have, could have. Well, we have that chance. This is our chance. This is my chance. This is anybody who's interested. It's their chance to say, hey, we don't like this. I don't know. I don't know how else to take it down besides exposure. To me, just exposing these people and their involvement to whatever degree is alarming, and it needs to be exposed. It's ugly, and it just, if there are these horrible people that are enabling this, then why would anybody want to sit next to them in church? What, you're shaking hands with them and you're I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I wonder, because didn't you? Now, Rob Meldrum, he's associated with the Joseph Smith papers and like the Stoddards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And you've talked about that before, like a long, long time ago.
He is well on my map.
Yeah. So like James and Hannah, and James is dead, right? James Stoddard is dead.
James died in September of 2021.
Yeah. Because we had talked about that a really long time ago. Stoddard's kind of a big name here. And I was always curious as to, it's just very interesting. Hannah Stoddard has talked at Defending Utah.
She's daddy's little girl, her right there.
Oh yeah. She's like, yeah. I think Jenny knows who she is, because when we brought it up before, I remember Jenny was like, oh, Hannah Stoddard.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, she's somebody I'd really pay close attention to because she's all in. This is what she believes in. This is what she's carrying on from her dad. And as Pops in the Moo Mafia says, as you associate, you become. I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Maryland pastor says Julie Rowe has a big schedule for classes and gatherings. I mean, here she is, just, I hate that people still, believe in her. and that she's gone this far. It's like, we've got to stop this animal. We have to stop her from progressing,
Yeah.
from using people, again, from creating these monsters. I'm not saying, I don't know if she had a hand in it or whatever. However, she played a big part in it. She inspired Lori to sing and ruin Hallelujah, the song, and turned it into, it put Julie Rowe in there, and Mike. She says Mike in there, and I think that's Mike Stroud. Um, I don't know.
Right.
It's so gross. It's so gross, and it's so perverted. And I don't know. I don't know, April. I don't know how we stop her besides really sharpening up our research, really honing in on it, really just putting the spotlight on her or
Oh
any
my
of these
gosh.
people that are doing
Moonlight. Sorry. There we go. That's how we stop her, April.
it.
Go get a tranquilizer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That one YouTube video, I'm like, Mom? Mom? Is that you?
Oh,
Like,
wow. And so, see, that's something that Jen recognizes from her own upbringing from her mother, who was
yeah.
more extreme, and maybe,
When she was manic.
and also with, when paired with a mental disorder, a
Yeah.
mental health
Yeah.
issue, that's not good. It's not a good combination, and it's scary. My papa was manic. My grandfather was no, on my mm, I was raised Trahan, so that would be my brother's dad, the Trahan side, but he was manic. My grandfather was manic, and he would just go and do things to the extremes. My mama used to have to keep close reins on him with money, as far as money.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we haven't paid any of these bills yet, she would say. And just to try and keep an eye on him, because he'd go spend $80,000 on a Dodge truck with a truck bed that would,
Oh
I
my
don't even
God.
know what I'm trying to, a dump truck kind of
I
thing.
know exactly.
It's crazy.
Mustangs. Yeah, Mustangs. I can tell you all this stuff. Um, she didn't take care of it. There's medication and there's therapy, and when people refuse that, that's when I get annoyed. And I get, like, my brother and I argue about this all the time, and because I get that being bipolar, it's very hard, because when you start to feel better, you don't want to take your meds. Like,
They won't take, yeah, a
yeah,
lot of,
I totally understand that. Like, well, I feel fine, I'm gonna stop.
I've done it. I've done it even.
Yeah,
I'm like,
at the
oh,
same
I'm not depressed
time,
anymore. Well, that's
At the
why.
same time, please take your meds even when you think you're fine. Please just take them,
If you're happy
because
and you know it, take your meds.
the consequences, like, because when the consequences would hit my mom, then things would get really dark.
Right? And then I'm
Um,
sure that was wrath, right?
yeah, well, so this is how it would start out. Mom's fine, she's on her lithium, she's cool. Mom starts to get a little manic. Oh, guess what? I'm not bipolar anymore. And I
Okay.
go, what? Like, when I was a kid, I didn't know. I was like,
And you're
okay.
a
And then
kid. You're not supposed to know all this,
mom gets really fun, like really awesome. And I'm like,
Mhm.
cool, my mom's awesome. And then
Yeah.
mom starts to get a little scary. And then she starts getting really religious. And then
And
she starts
then,
getting physically abusive. And then it's like, holy shit. Like,
yeah.
and then it's
I'm
like, the minute she's done. And it's
right.
like, run home from school, make sure that you check the house before your brother and sister get in the door, just in case.
Wow.
Like, so yes,
That's
please
pretty
take your.
scary. That's pretty scary for a child, for you, for any child to have to be aware of, and, not be able to be a kid. That's traumatizing right there.
Yeah.
So I get it. I do get it. I had to grow up pretty young also. Um, and I don't think it's something that our parents are just like, okay, we're just going to do this just to screw up, our kids or whatever. I just think it just happens, and you're just kind of a product of the circumstances, and it sucks. Just like Tylee having to, she
Yeah.
was so grown for her age. I recognize myself in Tylee. Um, I'm just very super protective of my brother, of my family, and it's it sucks, but I don't know what I can't undo it. Um, but I can recognize it and know that it was nothing that me or my brother or whatever, none of us children, it's none of our faults. We're just a product of, basically, I just say of the 80s, because it just
I
wasn't
really
a
think
thing. It just was not a thing. Being in a seatbelt was not a thing. I remember jumping up and
no.
down.
We rode in the back of the truck.
Right?
Well,
Oh my God, I know.
stick a mattress in the back, drive to California. Good God. Like,
Sun beaming down on you. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but I think like our parents, like, remember, I have this theory, and I know it's totally not based on anything but my opinion.
That's
Let's
okay.
just go with it.
Please share.
So I have a theory that our parents, because we were like Gen X, tail end of Gen X, early millennials, um, they were like they were like not sure, because their parents were like strict, and it was like spare the rod, spoil the child. And
Mhm.
then they were like, well, we don't really want to be like our parents. We don't really know how, uh, and we're okay. Let's just see what we can do. And they got it right and wrong, and blah blah. And then millennials came along, and they're like, I think I'm going to let my child choose their consequences. And like oh God, like the younger millennials too. I'm like, okay, all right. You know what I did when my kid didn't want to wear, like, um, she wanted to wear a swimsuit to daycare in January?
I
I
let
said,
her.
"You sure you want to do that?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Okay,
Okay.
put it on. Let's go. We're late."
Right. Here, you're gonna kind of see those. I do the same thing.
I mean, I wasn't gonna let her be in danger. It's not like I was gonna
Right.
throw her in
But
and
it's,
watch her freeze to death.
come on, you think you know it. Let me show. You're not really thinking it through, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and see, Jean, there's a lot more. I don't really know. I don't ever want to upset like my family. My aunts and uncles and my mom. Um, my grandfather, Leland Vallow, um, which I didn't even know that he wrote a book. It's 54 pages. I mean, it's really, in my mind, from what I see of it or whatever, it's basically just copy and paste from the Bible, from Revelations. And so I don't see, like, he didn't add anything to it or whatever. Like, I didn't see that. And he went and studied in Rome. He went to the Vatican.
Wow.
He was hardcore into Roman Catholic beliefs. He die hard. Okay. And now my step grandmother is still alive, and I'd really love to just pluck her brain because she also was the same way. They were very together in their beliefs and everything, which they also prepared for 3 days of darkness and yada yada yada. Which I have nothing against preparing for things that could happen, but not to the extreme.
Yeah,
Um,
when it gets to
is losing and going bankrupt and things like that, then that's an issue.
and people get thousands of dollars into debt for food storage, and they've
Right.
always said prophets have always said not to do that. Like, they've always said, if you're going to go into debt, don't go into debt, because that's the whole point of welfare square. That's the whole point of, like, storage, is that those that don't have that ability will be taken care of by those that do.
We have
But
144
still,
people listening.
I know that's pretty awesome, you guys.
I like the number. Oh, 147. Damn.
I know. I
Joking.
said something. I'm always like, what'd I say? Like, usually I can tell
No.
when I say something
No,
that
but like,
people don't like.
as far as my Uncle Charles, like trying to understand why he kind of jumped on board so easily, in my opinion, from knowing my background, our background and everything, my grandfather was extreme. I just didn't know. I didn't notice. He wasn't like that with me. And I'm gonna have to ask my cousins, our generation. But he would push a lot of his ideas. He would push a lot of his ideas, on his children. And that would be Charles, my mom, my uncles, my aunts. Um, and like my mom even said that, she had to back away from him. And then they picked up a while later and he just never mentioned it again. But I mean, I'm sure there's different dynamics of the relationship with each child,
Mhm.
My Uncle Charles was the firstborn son. Um, I don't know if he was maybe extra tough on him or what. I really don't know. But I really am going to dig more into that because I think it's very important to understand the dynamics so that we can put it into context and try to learn from it,
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm
extremism just yeah.
laughing at this because I know I have this bad habit. Like, I will watch myself and I'll be like, how many more times can you touch your hair? Like, I'll do this to myself. Be like, stop it. It's a total, like,
It's a tick.
it bugs me. Like, I hate having it down, but I have a tiny head. So when I have it up, I don't
I do too.
look right. Like, watch. Like, let's do that. Okay. I have a horse
This is
face
a hair tutorial now.
and I've accepted that. Okay. I've had people tell me that.
Then I put it up and I'm like,
See, it
yeah.
looks weird. So I like that. I try to have it down and then I just can't stop.
And then we try to have it up. And then we try to have it down. And we try to
And
do
now
it.
she's
For
like, I
girls.
gotta go. I don't need I don't need an example.
Yeah, that's true, Artie. I just kind of wanted to pay
Yeah.
homage to that because it's true. I mean, even me, I suffer from depression sometimes, and not all the time do I need medication, but maybe I do, and then that way I don't go down. Um, I don't know. I have a better understanding of myself versus when before when I was just an asshole. I was just like, I'm fine. Woo,
Yeah.
and I'm not at all fine. That was just me being ignorant, just being ignorant of everything, and myself included.
I think just growing, and I know. So like last week when I met with my doctor, I told him, I'm like, I'm stressed. I'm having palpitations. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't take anxiety meds. I know people are like, why not? Because I get so tired. I'm very, very sensitive to meds, and they will knock me out. And
You
so
don't like that. Yeah.
I get very scared because I have to drive my son to school every day, half hour. Like I'm the only one. And so finally I was like, just give me something. And he prescribed something and he's like, just take it at night in case it makes you tired. And now the problem is my anxiety is so bad about the fact that it might make me tired that I can't
Yeah. Future tripping is what I call it. It's future
but
tripping.
I do legit. I know it's not good to live in this much anxiety. Like it just is not good.
We become your own prisoner.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, that's the story of my life, but it's like the more I become aware, it's not It's not so scary. It is scary. It's all kinds of scary stuff around, but you can't possibly prevent everything. Like, I don't
Right.
like surprises. I don't like surprises. Why? Because I don't know what, even if it's good, if somebody's like, oh, I got you, I'm like, what? What? You know, it just trips me out because I don't know what that is. And so for me, just, I notice it in my daughter a lot. She really so very much wants to just, oh my God, she's like an itinerary. She's a walking freaking itinerary, you know, and she's just like, what after that? What after that? And after that? And I'm just like, okay, I get it. I get it now. You know, she's just don't like surprises, but that's how she controls her anxieties. And that just breaks my heart, you know? I feel like I felt her somewhere in there.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Or like she got this
No.
anxiety thing. And I don't want another soul to have anxiety. But, you know, just to face the fact that you're not alone, or just to know that you're not alone is relieving, you know,
Yeah.
because it's real. It's very real for a lot of people, like me and like you know, and it comes in many different forms. um, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know why I thought of this. I think it's because you just said the time thing. We've talked about how my son is like very time. That's part of one of his little uh, autism
Ticks.
things. Like
Yeah.
time. Time is very important. But I picked him up when we were in the car, and I was talking about how like we had our live, and he's like, "Oh, so what are you gonna do?" I said, "Well, usually I just
Difficult.
say the things." I'm like, usually I say the things that Gretchen can't say. I'm the one that like pisses everyone off. And he goes, "Oh, does she have too much of a good heart?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah. Something like that.
He's like, "She has a really good heart." And I was like,
What
"Yeah,
does that
she
make
does."
you?
He's
What
like,
the hell?
"You not so much. I can see why you bug people."
No, you're just more you've been a godsend. That's all I'm saying. You know, I feel like my family was murdered and that they're up in heaven and they were like, okay, this, they just handpicked God's army. I swear. That's how I feel. That's the way I like to look at it. Like, they hand select every one of you who are here because you're all here for, because it attracted, you know, something about the case got you, about the people, about the story. And so it got you. And then it's like we were able to form these communities that, you know, around all of this because we want a better understanding,
Yeah.
because we want to know why, because we want to know how we can prevent these things. Uh, to me, that speaks volume. And here you are, week after week, you know, always here. And I appreciate that. And so, yeah, Jen is somebody that can say stuff that maybe I can't. And it's not because I can't. It's just maybe I'm not in that position. I'm not in I feel like I'm in a difficult position.
Well, you
Um,
have to be careful because you're a spokesperson in a way.
right. And
You
I
know,
don't
you're
want to
the
hurt anybody's
platform.
feelings. Like, I really, but not everybody hears that from me. Not everybody knows that about me. Um, and I don't have the background that many of you do. I don't have that perspective. It is so important for me to know other people's perspectives because they're important to me. They're important to this case. They're important to the stories, the backstories, the why, you know, how, of what different beliefs, different areas of the world, of the country, you know, and um, it just keeps me in check. I like keeping in check, you know, it helps me to stay balanced and unbiased, to try not to be um, like I'm not out for anybody, you know, I'm just out for understanding. Um, and it just helps check myself, you know, like KJ. Uh, hers has always been about what is her saying? Truth, logic, common sense, that gut feeling, and yes, even a little psychoanalysis. As we're gathered once again together, you and I, to discuss Chad Daybell and Lori Daybell. I mean, I have watched her since the beginning. I watch everybody. I really have. And that I am not that's not elaborate. That's not, I don't know what the
Oh,
word I'm
it's true.
saying. It's true.
I can vouch that you do.
And it's like important to get it from everybody's perspectives because I want to make sure that I'm not out of line somewhere or, it just helps me. It helps.
Yeah. Well, like KJ has helped me a lot because
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to one of the Ray Room chats.
Yeah.
And she said something like, it won't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We don't need to try and make it make sense. Something along those lines.
Right.
And I was like, that's true because I am a person that I'm like, I have to get an answer. I have to find out what
Right.
went wrong, when it went wrong, why.
Yeah.
And
Until it
and then
satisfies your gut, right? Until it
yeah,
satisfies that uh,
yeah.
that
And then
voice
I
or
thought,
that concern.
yeah, I thought, you know what? That I need that perspective because I need to go, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't. Um, and my only contribution is really just saying, like, when Lori says terrestrial vibration, she's not talking about a, you know,
Mm-hmm.
toy. Well, really, I'm just like, so that
Or
when you
something.
guys hear this stuff, and to make sure that it's not like, I know these are little things I get hung up on. They are. And I don't know why I get hung up on them. But like
Oh.
when I hear Chad Daybell getting credited for the Church of the Firstborn, I was so pissed because and I don't think I should be, but I thought that to me is making a mockery of what I grew up with. Like he shouldn't, that's a core belief. And why are
Right.
we giving him that credit? That is something he's twisted.
I'm gonna give them the credit that they worked so hard for.
And
Yeah,
I feel like that's where I want to be like, no, listen, this is what it is.
mm-hmm.
Like, because I think like when people go, oh, it's the Church of the Firstborn that Chad made up, he gets more credit as a cult leader or as a psycho. Like,
Or like it's okay. Okay. It's just that. No,
oh,
there's
okay, like
more. There's more to
he's
that story. You don't just stop there and just
right.
settle. I don't settle. That's my thing. I don't settle until I'm content and until my intuition, my gut instinct or whatever just allows that to release. Then I'm okay. Once that is released, then I'm like, okay, on to the next thing. It's just I don't know what it is. I didn't mean to cut
Yeah.
you off. God.
Oh no. I mean, that was really all I was gonna say is that it I don't want to give that motherfucking piece of shit, goddamn dog breeding fucking shit, he's goddamn
Right.
motherfucking
Right.
guy
He doesn't deserve it because he
any credit for making anything up, right? Because people are like, oh, Chad had this Church of the Firstborn, and everyone's like, oh, he did. And
oh,
I'm
good
like,
tell. Yeah.
no, dummies, it's here in Melissa Kramer's Book of Mormon that I got from the DI for free. But but it's in there and it's a belief and
He
you're
plugged it. It's like he's oh, that's a horrible word to say.
he was?
I was like, he plugged it. But anyways, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's doing all kinds of things in jail. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But he still brought it to he helped or no, I don't even know what to say. He just perverted that too. He perverts everything. Everything.
Well,
From
it's
Harry Potter to, uh, to everything. I mean, there's nothing that these people have not perverted.
yeah. I
And
mean,
it's
it's a
gross. It's so gross.
to me, it's a beautiful part of the doctrine. Whether or not I
Right?
believe in it, whatever my own personal feelings are, I know
Mhm.
it's something that is cherished. And it's like, no, you don't get to fucking mess with that. Like,
Right.
I
That's
may
off
piss
limits.
I may piss people off, but I know
It's
what
your
that
background. It's
doctrine
your upbringing too.
I know what that doctrine means to
Right.
people, and I think to have it on Dateline, like Chad had come up with it, I was like, I just don't think oh my gosh, Saturday Warrior. Sorry. Jenny just talked about Saturday's Warrior, and I totally think if we can, we need to have a viewing party of Saturday's Warrior.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is Saturday's
Okay,
Warrior?
so it's a movie that was made, I want to say the 80s. Jenny, you can correct me on this because I didn't actually own it. I would go to my friends' houses to watch it. But it's basically about this family, and they have like 90 kids. And well, not 90, but a lot. And it's like, it's so cheaply made. It's literally on like this stage, like carpet covered stage with like this just
Wow.
blue. It's so cheaply made.
Like Cheech and
And
Chong.
it's like it's about like the oldest son, and he's getting convinced to like leave the church and to like be mean to his family, and it's like this gang that wants him. And then like at the end, of course, he sees the light, but not until his sister dies, I think. And I was like, what? So
Wow.
like suddenly then you see the light. But it's just it's a cult classic in the Mormon church because it's like what all of his kids in the 80s, like we would watch it over and over on a loop.
Kind of like Reading Rainbow. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
like,
a sleepover. Like, oh,
okay.
are we gonna watch Saturday's Warrior? And so Jenny said that thank you, DJ Norman. That is a true compliment. Um,
I can't do.
she
That's
said
why he
that
says
he
some of the
took
things I
lines
can't.
yeah, but
That's,
Jenny was saying he took lines from Saturday's Warrior, and now
oh,
I
wow.
want to
So he
watch it.
perverted that too.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Right. And it's like, mm-mm, no, sir. I get it. You don't get that, Chad. You don't get that. You don't get to own that because there's nothing that he really came up with on his own. It's all, and I've always felt that. It's like I always said, it's some hodgepodge. It's just a little from here, a little from there. That's what it's always been in my mind. What exactly, I didn't know, and I still really don't. But you can now kind of take from here. It's all these breadcrumbs, and so you're like, "Yep, that's where he got that, and that's where he got that," and you recognize these things, and you're like, "That son of a bitch," You don't get that. We
yeah.
don't. We're not letting him have that. Like I said, I will give them. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Nettie, you're gonna like my video because I talk about Joseph Morris.
I don't know where it went. Who's
I
Joseph
know.
Morris?
Did we kick her out accidentally?
Who? No, I just
Oh, here.
took it down.
There it
I
is.
didn't know. Who's Joseph Morris?
He was the
Oh, the
Morrisites.
Morris Heights. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
See how this works.
Um,
It's nice.
someone said, "Oh, reporting live from like I do need to watch his videos. I I need to watch him. I'm worried because I like to do the, that I started out doing the commentary, and I'm like, I don't want people to think
Well,
I need to watch them more because mine is different. Mine is really more going into the religious context, so it's not really
which
the
is what Chad did. He he went and turned it out, in my opinion. I mean, whether if he was Catholic, he'd have turned out the the Bible, the whatever, whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
McJet
KJ
is
and the Ray. KJ and the Ray is the name of the YouTube channel. But she often deletes her videos. Like she's been doing this from the very beginning, since when I found YouTube. And it's just YouTube is just somewhere where I just kind of ended up, and I just became, more versed with it. I learned the algorithm, and I don't know. It was because of the cases though. And KJ in the Ray is the name of the YouTube channel. And she's from Tennessee. I mean, she's just a simple woman who she has such conviction though. And I mean, she says a lot of things that I want to say too, when she's just like, blah, blah, blah. And she just, I'm like, yeah, yes, exactly.
Discord. Here, Robbie, I'm going to take a screenshot really quick.
What?
Now, what exactly is
Let me
Discord?
smile. No, I'm joking.
I don't know. I gotta join. Really don't know how it works.
What?
John Boyd.
You don't know how it works?
Discords.
Oh, I have it.
They're like secret though. I do know that. Like they're supposed to be kind of secret.
What is?
Bye, Sister Danka.
Where are you reading?
Oh, Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie. Yeah,
so,
Robbie. I wish Robbie could just read my mind and just do it. He's been on my butt, about I want to help, I want to help. And I'm just like, okay. And then I get to the part where I just need to make that happen. And then I don't. So that's where I suck. It's not on purpose. It's not intentional. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just so much stuff I really don't want to mess with.
No, you had told me, you sent me the text. And earlier. I was like, well, how am I going to get a hold of him? Because now I don't have anything. What I need to do is set up a Google Voice. I had set one up, and then I think Google took it away because I didn't use it.
Who are you trying to get a hold of?
Well, I don't, because I don't have my email anymore. And so now, like, nobody can get.
So you're like KJ now.
It's now I'm like KJ.
Here, or just because I have your phone number is the only reason I'm able to.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay, so I've had a few comments. I think it's Jennifer Diane that actually said, yeah. She said something about, or she mentioned having a Discord or Facebook group where we could just go, I mean, and not just from here, where we can go elsewhere and just kind of continue the conversation, go a little more into it. Cause it's like during these lives, I see the comments, but you don't get to see them afterwards. Right. I think I have it on replay. Somebody had said it didn't.
I'll go into them.
I'm pretty sure. And it's like, there's so much in here. And I mean, you take the time to sit there and pound it out on your keyboard and send. I know I do the same thing when other people are live, and I'm just like, hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. And whatever. But so I do have that on replay. I do believe somebody had told me I didn't not long ago, and I hadn't changed anything. So
it doesn't show up right away sometimes.
I had asked Eric, I was like, if I do open a Facebook group, I will only do it if he's like on board, because I can't be in there all the time. I can't. I know I'm only one person. I'm being real with myself. Like, and I just don't want it to be a place of drama, because there's enough drama.
Yeah.
In the case, but much less on the outside of it. I do not have time for any of that nonsense. So, I mean, it's just going to be a very, if we do open the Facebook group and Discord, I'm going to do Discord because it works with Patreon. I don't know. Patreon's platform is really weird also. I've found it kind of difficult.
I will not be in the Facebook group.
And not everybody has Facebook. Not everybody has Discord or whatever. But Discord, I mean, it's more, I would say, more relaxed. It's more relaxed than an actual Facebook.
I will set up one to talk to you, Robbie, though. I will set up a Discord thingy to talk to you.
He's been dying to talk to you. And I've been like, okay, but I just don't know how to make that happen.
But
And
I
so I
can't.
do apologize.
Yeah, I can't promise. Like
You got
my
school.
my schedule right now is is and
Crazy.
so but I do want to talk to you about that, and I do have a couple ideas. Um, oh, sorry,
You
my
got
security
one?
camera
Was
was
that
like,
an idea?
"Hello, someone's at your house." Um, but I have a hard like I joined Web Sleuths with
Yeah.
Trisha because I do like to when I have time like scroll through and be like, oh, okay, I never knew
There's a
that.
lot of Daybell stuff in there
Yeah,
in the beginning, y'all.
and
It's crazy.
because
She's supportive of this, of me, and I
Trisha's really,
appreciate that. Trisha is very supportive of this platform. She's helping to build that. And so I appreciate content creators like her who they're not just there for the limelight. This is her livelihood, and I appreciate that also. And so I appreciate just how she handles things. That's me, you
no,
know.
I would not be here if it weren't for Trisha and Amy
Mhm.
because well, and
Great.
you really because they contacted me after like my first video, and
I
and
did too.
Trisha was like, I want you to do this or that, and I was like, okay.
Okay.
And then I got the email from you, and I was like, all right,
Yeah, Paul.
maybe I'll make another one.
And
And
you did. And I mean, it really does help. It helps put things into context. There you go.
yeah,
From from your point of view, which everybody's are just as important, like everybody has, if you have a Gmail, you have a YouTube account. Everybody has a channel. And so it's so hard for us to really talk in a community. A lot of people, you don't know their intentions, and that's where I have an issue, like as far as security. Mine is security purposes. Like I mean, this is kind of weird. There's even when Alex was dead, when we found out Alex was dead, it's like, bless you.
no, I was spitting on his grave.
Oh. But when I found out Alex was dead, you know, my worry about security or whatever was not diminished. I mean, it was still like amplified, and even mom was like, well, their murderer or their hitman is dead. And I was like, okay, but what about the rest of them? That's who I don't know about. There's people I don't know about. That's where I'm like, okay, who's
Yeah.
all birds of a feather flock together. And it's like you're like, okay, well, these people aren't really forthcoming. They're not forthcoming people. They're not very transparent at all. They're actually
No.
evading. And again, everybody has even said it in here, they just kind of disappeared like some cockroaches. But all they did was just rebuild and go elsewhere. They're still here, you know.
Right.
They're still here and they're still doing this, and I don't know their intentions because they're not forthcoming, and I don't know their intentions. I don't know what their end game is. And
Well,
that's something mom has kind of brought to my attention. What is their end game? You know?
what
And
makes me nervous is and I don't worry about yours. Like I really think that you're safe.
yeah, I
Um,
do. But
but
that's because I take measures to make sure
right.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm I try to be as open as I can, but I'm still like, what is their in? Are they going to use me for information, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And so, um,
I
I
worry
just
about the political clout. They're connected. We talked about
very
that.
much so. Y'all, I've already been researching. Arizona and like the judges and things like that, because I heard it's worse, in my opinion, from what I'm reading and everything. It's worse than Idaho, you know? And
Oh,
so
is
I'm
it?
like, oh crap.
I
it's
know
it's
people that
scary.
live in Mesa in that area. It's a shit show. Is what they say. They're
Right.
normal Mormons.
These people that have been affiliated with Chad and Lori and friends, they're unstable to me. That they're unstable. Um, however you want to take that, you know, it's just I don't trust them because they're not forthcoming, and you just would think that they would publicly denounce over and over again, and would be more helpful. Um, and they're not. That's been the furthest thing from their minds. You know, it sucks. It
Well,
sucks. Jenny
I
says
mean,
unstable is an understatement. Exactly.
it's
I don't know. How are you supposed to know from, there's Hector Sosa who allegedly said that he can destroy people digitally. And I'm just like, okay,
maybe
what does
that's what
that
it is.
mean? But they like to use the word destroy a lot. And destroy, according to, from what my uncle was saying to the freaking cop, she wants to destroy me, Well, that means a lot of things. And
I think
murder is one of them. I'm good.
it also is like it stands for spiritual death too. Like they use
Right.
it in reference to spiritual death.
Character assassination. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I always just keep everybody, my family and myself and Jen and Eric, like anybody that, I have opened up to, you know, I'm very protective. Like I don't want anybody to put their lives at stake or any part of their lives at stake. Like you have a career that you're going to be doing, and I just respect that. Um, I
it's
don't like
diminishing as we speak.
no, no,
Well,
no.
just because like they're so well connected, and that's been part of my hesitation too, because I was
When we
like,
stutter step, that's when we're like, okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's not open our mouths,
yeah,
right?
and
Right.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm connected. I would say that I go in a lot of places
You are now.
where people are important and they know it. They always know they're important, by the way. Like there's no such thing as like a,
Grandiose.
a humble politician. There just isn't. There's not one of them.
Right.
But like the other day, someone kept going, I know you from somewhere. You know what? You you definitely like you look familiar. You look familiar. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
why do I look familiar? One, I do have a familiar face. Two, I have testified up there before, and uh, in disagreement with this particular person. uh,
Mhm.
but then I thought, is it absolutely crazy and paranoid? It is. As I'm saying this, I know it is. If this person who's well connected and connected to a certain area, do they not
Mhm.
like? Is that not the most narcissistic bullshit thing that I've ever said? But
No, it's not. I mean, it's no, because it's true. They're grandiose and so self-important.
well, that's how I feel saying it. I'm like, I know that nobody like I know I'm very small. It's just that I just need to piss off the right person.
That's all it would take. It's
And
just pissing off the right person.
yeah, and that was part of the reason I had to pull everything from socials and all of that too, because I was like, I just
For somebody who was just trying to take up for me,
what?
that just you took up for me.
Oh,
And that's it just says a lot about other people who are okay with exploitation of my family. I'm not okay with that. If
I'm
it was
not.
your family, you would not. You would be the same way. I would think. I would think. I would hope so. You know, you just kind of want to go and what's their end game? What is their end game? Why this is somebody that I'm really probably wouldn't ever be like, hey, friend, you know? And that's fine. That is fine. I'm not here to be friends with everybody. It just isn't that's not realistic. However, I am here to protect my family and my family's memories, you know? Um, I'm not going to let anybody exploit them. Missing and exploited children is what National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Okay, it's just as bad. And I mean, they're dead. It's not like you can. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I'm just kind of speaking off the cuff right now, but it's scary that there are people in this whatever. I'd say not this community, not this one, but who talk about the same people who don't have the best, whatever you call it, the best wishes, or well, I don't even know how to say it, but the best intent um, for my family. Thank you. Thank you. Love does always win. I don't know how, and I don't know when, and I don't know where, but I just know that it will. Yeah, that's bothersome, right, April? You know?
I absolutely. I've seen a couple like of your last in April. I'm like,
Mm-hmm. And so these are the people I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm. You know, what are their connections? I don't know because we don't know enough about them because it was wiped, you know, like the damn scrubbing bubbles. They just come and wipe the internet, scrub the internet.
yeah,
And I don't think that's very fair. It's not very transparent. What are you hiding? You know? So, um, I think if Hermosillo had hair, he would have pulled it out during the interview with Serena.
oh my gosh.
I
I
wish
know.
somebody got pissed somewhere and just been like, tell me the truth, you know, just something more abrasive. Damn it.
I think they must in their minds have to be like, okay, like
Right?
they gotta pep talk themselves before they, especially like whoever. I bet you whoever
Yep.
interviews Melanie draws the short straw. But it's like 1, 2, 3. Damn it!
You can
Like
see in the interviews the second FOIA whatever drop, and you can see Hermosillo, you can see Rob. Wait, is it Rob Ball? Ron Ball? Ron Ball. He's here, and then Hermosillo's right here, and you can see with her little flappy thing, and she's all just disjointed, just unhinged.
the
Like I
second
don't
one,
know.
Melanie,
Melanie
like the
Gibb,
manic
yeah,
one, or the yeah, that's I don't
yeah,
know.
and
I'm
you
just
can
gonna say she's acting
see
like
Hermosillo like I whatever mugging Ron Ball like
I'm sure
oh
he was
my
like,
god,
should we drug test
they
her?
kicking each other underneath the table, you
I'm
know, like
sure.
you get a load of this.
Because you know they were like, okay, I gotta pretend
God
that
bless
I
them.
can stand this woman because I gotta get information. Like you
You
know that
already
they
know the truth,
in their head they're like, I can't screw this up, so I gotta just take it and not slap the bitch. And
right?
like
Right, because it is against the law, and I'm
yeah.
on camera,
And
right?
it's a horrible thing to do. Um to slap someone. Like but
I'd be
like
part
in
of the
my
slapping the
head,
tribe.
I do it all the time. But yeah, I think just watching I look and I'm like, I don't even know. And then I saw these pictures, these stills of Melanie like in the witness stand, and I was like, oh, she looks crazy there too. And like all friggin'
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
like
really, to me, the first day she went, um, Melanie Gibb, the first day that she went, Chad's pretrial, whatever you call it, the only time we've seen her on a witness stand, her, and I mean, whatever. I'm just speaking truth. I don't know if it'll hurt or nobody listens to me anyways. But anyways, she looked like she was on some Xanax, because her eyes were just fluttering. It was like, I guess to calm her nerves. I know I would have been, you
Oh, I
know.
would.
I'm just saying.
I'd be
But
like, let
it's
me
a
tell
big
you a
difference
story.
to the next day when she's like, I don't know, your class where I saw your client, I was like, "Ooh." I just was like, wow, it was a 180.
Did you see the
Um,
panic hit her when John Pryor asked her about where the Preparing a People event
yeah.
was? And she's
Yep.
like, in a church. And then she's like, but it was sponsored, and you could
Yeah.
just see her go, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Whoops, that's court record now,
yeah.
and so I also did, guys, and I mean, I don't know. This is just something that I've kind of just run across. So I was watching that Vice, whatever um, documentary, dur, dur, dur. Um, and it auto played to the next thing or whatever, and it was about an LDS hotline. Okay, so this makes more sense to me. This, what I'm about to tell y'all, makes a little more sense to me of how Lori may have obtained the phone number to Bruce R. McConkie. I don't know. Inquiring minds want to know. And this is just me observing and watching, and it came to light. So I don't know. Um, but there's this hotline, and it was, I guess, more about basically, this is what they were saying. It's basically the LDS putting out a 1-800 number hotline, and you're supposed to report to that before you report to police per se.
Oh, you're talking about the legal counsel.
And I mean, whether it was anybody who had an issue, to what those issues are, I don't know. I guess maybe sexual SA. I'm sorry,
Yeah, it's
or
for
whatever.
bishops.
I guess, and it was an attorney. Yeah, it was an attorney that they were interviewing, and he said, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to make a video or something where I can show y'all what I'm
San
talking about, what I'm referring to." Um, but I was just like, okay, it's not like this clinician just had this phone number. Like, here you go. Here's Bruce R. McConkie's phone number. Like that's what I was envisioning. Like, okay, she just gave her, or this person gave her a phone number, and she just
Yeah.
got patched on through. But really, it could have been this hotline that is for all,
Well,
to all if there's an issue. And perhaps she was like, I'm Lori Vallow, Daybell. And they were like, please hold. And then it
the
patched right
one
on through.
the one I'm thinking about, because like I went and I was like, if I'm a clinician who's not Mormon and not familiar, like how do I? So there's a hotline that bishops are supposed to call if they feel like they're in a legal situation, like
Yeah.
which is SA usually, and it's it's the one on the church website, but it says like it's like in the handbook, it just says church leaders are encouraged to call like legal counsel. And so,
Mhm.
but I think what the clinician didn't think about was like that's really to protect the church. That's not like you don't get it if you're a member, like if you're going to your bishop and you're like, hey, I need a lawyer for my divorce. They're not like, oh, call this 800 number. Like,
Mhm.
so I think that's the one, but it can't be, because how in the hell would you get not Bruce McConkie? You wouldn't get Bruce McConkie. He's dead.
Oh, I said the wrong name.
Daniel
Daniel.
McConkie.
I'm sorry.
How
See?
would you get how would you get past a paralegal?
Like,
And
right.
we've
Right.
all, most of us have had to deal with a lawyer at some point in our life.
Right.
Have you
And
ever had a
so,
lawyer just go, hey, happy to help you? Sure.
yeah. Click. Because I mean, I've speculated. I've sat here and been like, how would she just get straight, patched directly to him? You know, I mean, he's a busy dude, I'm sure, you know, as any attorney would be. You don't just,
He's,
and I mean, we don't know that she even talked to the attorney. I don't know.
who's
I
a,
really don't know. That's me asking questions
yeah.
because I don't know. And so I don't know. I just kind of, when I saw that, I was like, huh, it makes you wonder. It just makes you wonder if they called the 1-800 number and maybe there is an answering service. I don't know. Never called it. Maybe I should call it.
Well,
See who I get. Oh,
I gave it a ring.
you did?
Remember?
I
I thought
didn't
I
know
told you.
that.
I gave it a ring.
Oh my
And
god.
of course I sound like an idiot because like I can't like not be forthcoming. So I'm like, ah, no. So I just said, hey, is this the number that I called? Like, can I get a name of an attorney for myself? Like, was the lady was like, I'm sorry, honey, what? And
Who
I
are
was like,
you?
no, like, can I get the like if I need a lawyer, like can the church help me? And they were like, well, no, we have our own. Do you need the legal? It was a very awkward conversation. And finally I was like, she's like, who's your bishop, honey? And I was like, oh, gotta go, bye. But I think that something is missing from that report. And you guys, like, if you think about it, if you've ever been part of a media story, you know the media, there's always one or
Picks
two
and chooses.
details.
They cherry pick.
They do a good job for the most part, but there's usually one or two things you're like, that's not quite it,
Right.
right? Because it's their interpretation. And these reports are people interpreting. That's why I think when the cops are saying Charles in limbo, I think it's just the cops interpreting what they're being told. Because there's no limbo in the Mormon church unless you count spirit prison. And yeah, it's not limbo. So and even like Daniel, he was probably on a golf course. I mean, the guy's
Really?
loaded beyond belief. The McConkeys are.
So he's
Like,
successful. He's a successful dude. And
I
God,
doubt he has stepped foot. I mean, maybe he has.
I don't know. It's just one of those, it's just something that I ran across and I was like, okay, well, that makes more sense than just his phone number. I'm sorry I said Bruce McConkie because that's just me. I'm so sorry.
He's like his uncle. Well,
The
that's when
truth
we
is
start. Okay, when we started talking about Stoddards.
and it makes her competent to call. Yes, April. Sorry.
Odd.
I agree.
Because McConkie's mother's maiden name is Stoddard.
Right.
Oh, we made that connection forever ago.
I'm sorry.
But I don't know if we ever said it. Like, remember, I was like, oh, there could be a connection.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know unless we ask. I don't know unless I ask. I'm asking. And these are things that I want to know. And it's not to cause, waves in the pool or, it's not to be an asshole. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I am just wanting answers. And I like to explore all avenues until they're depleted. And that's how I am with everything. And that's how I always have. I've always been this way. When all avenues are exhausted, that's when I've ended my marriages. I'm like, okay, I cannot, it's just beyond my grasp. It's not something that I can fix.
I've done everything.
That's how I am. So it's just my way. I'm not saying it's right, but it's mine. And so
it's a good way because
it's the only way to make sense of it. And I'm not trying to call anybody else. I'm just kind of putting things together.
I don't think you are, though. I think
if asking questions is against the law, then yep, I break the law all the time.
Well, I think like what I've noticed with you is that you're constantly like
pushing boundaries,
looking, seeing, and sometimes when you text me, I'm like, no, 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 no. And then I got to go, wait, that's Crush's process.
That's just my
She's just
thinking.
saying, oh, look what I found. She's not saying, I totally believe this happened.
This is it. No, that's not me saying, okay, they're found out. This is just the bottom of the barrel. No, there's always another bottom to the barrel. It's just, it goes and goes and goes until and I'm sure a lot of people just are just satisfied, with the answers they've gotten, or they're tired and just like, okay, move along. And so there's so many different avenues to this. It's never ending. And that's just a constant circle that I go through,
Yeah. But
and
you've
I
never
feel
been.
I deserve answers. I do. Thank you, McJet.
I think I don't get when people get offended by you. I get when they get offended by me because I'm ex-Mormon, and so I'm automatically like, there's a defense there because
Right.
ex-Mormons can be
Yeah.
pretty vicious. It's not like they leave in their, they're vicious people everywhere.
They get very defensive. Yeah, very defensive. And I'm just like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. And it's like I'm not ever able to really talk to them thoroughly. I remember being in KJ's live one time, and at KJ and the Ray, and I mean, I pissed off a few people, and I laid it out before I even said what I had to say. I was like, I am in no way attacking or trying to come off as abrasive or whatever, but blah, blah, blah. It's like, you have to say it. Eventually, you have to say it. It has to come out. Or I can sit here and just continue to stutter step, and it sucks dancing around things that I do want to say. It does. It sucks. I don't feel like I'm in a safe environment in order to do so. So I just stopped because I'd piss people off, and that's not my job here. That's not my intent. My intent is not to piss anybody off. It's to get answers, an understanding, if you will. But I remember Tom McAllister, which I haven't seen him in forever, but
Yeah.
I know. And so I made him really upset, and I did not. Again, I was like, I really didn't. That's not my intentions here. And, eventually he came over to my channel, and he's in my comments, just asking questions. And I'm like, oh, that was so. I'm here to make connections. I'm not here to disconnect from everybody. I'm here to understand. And until you're in my position, you won't know. And I don't ever want anybody to know what this feels like. This sucks. Mm-hmm. It sucks. It's a very awkward situation to be put into. Let me just tell you that. Thank you, Lori and Chad. Thank you. I'm just, huh?
I said, but no, thank you.
Right. And it sucks. It sucks. No, thank you, Jenny. I mean, that's just it. It's like, I want to know. Yeah. I'm just going to read it to you.
B. That really fucking sucks.
Wait, who? What?
Jennifer B. I don't know if you want your comment up under Anthony. I just don't know if you want. I never know if I should put comments like that up or not because I don't want to be disrespectful. But her boyfriend passed away.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for your loss. And all of you guys, a loss is a loss is a loss is a loss.
No. I'm sorry. He's 34.
That's very young. And that's tragic. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that. One day, part of what I'm here to do, part of my journey is to make there a safe place, make a safe place where anybody who has suffered a loss, I don't care your, what was it with me? Your relation, I wasn't a grandparent or a parent or a sibling. So they just cut me off right there and didn't send me, they didn't try to point me in a direction where I could talk to somebody else. And I didn't realize until long after that was even an issue. And it is an issue. Oh my God, that hurt, because you know how hard it is to even reach out.
Yeah.
And then when you do reach out, you get just cut off. That's very hurtful to me. To me, it was. And oh my God, so a loss is a loss is a loss. There's none greater. They're not worth, you can't compare them. There's no comparison. I can't tell you, well, that loss is not relevant enough.
Right.
Nobody gets to tell you how to grieve. And that's where you come in with that wisdom, and it's empowering that nobody gets to tell you how to grieve. And I'm sorry that, you're dealing with that. I'm sorry to anybody here who has suffered a loss. Yeah. And I know we don't get to talk about them. And I want there to be a place that I know that I'm going to see to it where it's safe and we can talk about these things, without worry. There's got to be a way, because talking about it it's therapeutic. It really is. That's why I'm here, talking about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think people, there's like a social thing of like,
stigma.
Like, oh, you're not supposed to be as sad when your grandparent dies, right? Because they're older and they should die sooner. Or, right. But they were only like,
but they were maybe a parent to you. It just doesn't matter. They were special to you.
Or right. People just touch you like, in a figurative way. They'll just reach up and go, oh.
They touched your heart. Yeah.
And I think that that's really important to say. I think that's really, it's just so important for you to share that and say, like, I know what it's like to reach out and be told you're not important enough.
Right. Your voice is not relevant. That's what I hear. Exactly. I was just like, whoa. Oh, right. The Reels 360Z. I have a cousin who has, dealt with this very issue, and it bothers me. But yet I never lived life through his lens, so I really don't know how detrimental that is. I really don't. Yeah, you can turn it down, baby. It's cold in here. I'm freezing my butt off. But and yin yang. Oh, I'm glad you're here, yin yang. Grief is both universal and very personal.
Yeah.
Eloquent, and just as important. I am blessed in that way, in that sense, where this took a public, media storm or whatever. I know I just made a really weird face, but anyways, but not everybody gets this luxury. This is a luxury. Not everybody has so many people following their loved ones who were murdered, or, you know what I mean? It's I just hope that one day I can do it justice. I can do other victims justice. I'm building that platform,
I think even like what I think is so amazing about you and this platform and the family is you're sharing your story in real time, which to me is one of the most admirable things I've ever seen, because that's making yourself vulnerable to people being just assholes.
Using you. I mean, just
using you.
Further exploit. And that's why I'm like, whoa. It's like there's I don't know. And I know it's like I'm learning that I'm not going to stop these things. These things are just going to happen. There's going to be books and movies and whatever, um, shows, about all this stuff. And I can't stop it, but I can be proactive, right? That is where I do have control, and I can, change the course of some things. Um, that's where I have a say in it. And I mean, until you're actually put into this position, that's the only way you would know, right? I mean, that's the only way I found out.
Right.
And there's so much more to learn. Um, but I love sharing their stories and stories about them,
And
because that's where they live on. That's where I see and feel them. I hear you. Just hurry up.
it's important because people need to see, like, we have this vision of this is what a victim's family looks like, right? So when I think about like Elizabeth Smart's family,
Right.
like this image that they had to portray this family for years and years, had to be crushing. And that's what I really appreciate about you and your family, is because there's not a layer, right? There's not a layer.
There is nothing between you and public. John Q. Public. I've just always been an open book too. I've just always kind of like, okay, That's weird. It's a weird situation. That's all I'm saying. It's a very weird. It's hard to get like comfortable with it. Just when I don't want to let my guard down, because I don't know what people's intentions are, and I just continuously think of what my mom has taught me. Just what is their end game? What is what do they get out of what do they get out of it? So some people are just here because it's comforting and it's healing, and that's where I'm at. I'm here to heal and to share and spread the message, that way. But not everybody is like that. Not everybody has the best intentions, and that's where you have to kind of be like, what do you have to?
Yeah.
Because I'm okay with sharing. Sharing means caring.
Care Bears, share, and then like the light or whatever. Then they cloud. Robbie, I put your comment up because classic skating. Chris, if you come to Utah, we are going to classic skating.
What is it? Ice skating? Because I'm gonna fall like I do.
It's roller skating. It's a roller.
Oh, I got you. I need to like do aerobics first. So I'm so out of shape. It's not even funny.
I just stand and go.
I can go backwards.
Yeah, when I was younger.
But it's okay. I can laugh at myself. It's okay. Yeah, I'm the biggest dork I know, so it's okay.
I can swim. I do no land sports. Land sports I cannot do. But if I'm in the pool, I can hold my own.
Yeah, but, I appreciate all of you. I'm glad that you were able to be here tonight. I know that you're busy. I know that all you guys are busy, and oh my God, the Super Bowl. I watched the commercials, at least. If my team's not playing, then of course I just watch the commercials. Usually that was my life prior to this. Again, I used to enjoy doing a lot of things, and now it's like, I used to do this and I used to do that. Well, I'm coming back to that. So it's just taken what? They just lost.
My boy Joe.
Your boy Joe just lost. What does that mean?
Oh, sorry.
Joey lost. The Bengals lost.
The Bengals lost. Okay.
Bengals? Oh,
Right.
Cincinnati.
Football. Right. Uh-oh. So that's Eric. Yeah. Oh, and see Joe. Wait, no, Joe. He was the
Joe
one.
was LSU quarterback.
Well, he came from BYU, right?
Who?
Joe.
Joe? No, he came from
Well, who came from
LSU.
BYU?
That was New Orleans quarterback.
Well, who? What's the name?
Oh, weird name.
Weird name.
I can't even think of it.
But it's funny because he came from BYU, the Saints,
Mhm.
you know, to New Orleans Saints. I think it's kind of
Probably recruited.
right.
He's like,
I
I'm
was
not
like,
gonna
foosball.
Tyson Hill.
Tyson Hill. That's not a weird name.
What is it?
Tyson Hill
New Orleans quarterback.
is somebody who's the New Orleans quarterback. You know how it was Drew Brees and now it's not. So anyways, but yeah. Just some of those things.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna call it a night.
Me too. I'm gonna call it a very good night. We've had quite a few people in chat, and I appreciate it. It was a good talk. It really was. He's feeling better. He is. He's over there eating, so he's happy.
Prayers for Larry.
Say prayers for Larry. Why?
In the hospital with fluid on his knee.
Right now?
Yep.
Oh,
see what I mean? I didn't know that.
I just found
Jesus
out.
Christ. Okay. Well,
so my stepdad, okay, Larry has fluid on his knee. He had just had knee surgery. So when I get off here, I'm gonna go check.
That's painful.
I hate surprises. Jason will get it one day.
And he didn't get a knee replacement though, right?
I think so.
Oh, was it a knee replacement?
Yeah.
No, it was hip replacement. It was hip.
Yeah, but it had his knee done too.
Oh, well, okay. That's how much I know. My dad he's not very he don't really talk about himself that much. Will you stop wiggling the back, please? Thank you. I'm almost done. Then you can wiggle. Anyways, yeah. So
I'm glad you're feeling better, Jason. I was worried.
he's the noise in my world. And so when it's gone, I'm like, oh, and then when it's here, I'm like, God dang it. But yeah, thank y'all, everybody. I'm glad you were here. This was a good talk. So until next time.
All right.
Bye-bye. Remember who you are and what you're fighting for.
Remember who you are and what you stand for.
And love always wins.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I bet you are. Cunning Linguist said this. she was going to be drinking. And so I was like, it's okay. You're in good company. You're safe here. It's okay.
Okay.
Don't drive. Don't drink in
Saturday's Warrior screening party. And those of us that can consume
I can.
Let's do it as a celebration for
the other team
for midterms. Because that may not happen at this point.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But
thank you all so much. And something's beeping. I'll go now. Arrivederci. And thank you. Yeah, hit the like button. I'm not demonetized, I don't think. I don't know. Who knows? No, I've gotten super chats.
Well, maybe you got demonetized whenever I come on because I say
thanks, Elmom. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't care. It's just whatever. Right. But anyways, thank you. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.